All right.
I'm really happy with and proud of the guys for a really good first half and kind of the level of intent, and I think in a good way, kind of anxiety of figuring things out. Talking about, as we talked the last couple days, going in, we might see some lineups that hadn't gotten many minutes together in games, if any. So great to see them play that way, figure things out. Very, very talkative, and again, just trying to problem solve and get as many good looks as we could offensively, and then take away as many easy free ones as we could defensively, which I think without a question, obviously, it was our best 20 minutes of that for the first half. So put us in a good spot for the second half. And so now we just need to get some rest, carry that over to another tough one on Saturday. Yeah, I think that's that's something that we're going to have to do. We got to create some easy looks and some free points. And I thought tonight, as much as anything, I thought we just did a really good job of converting those turnovers, especially the live ball ones, into points. And Brooklyn had a couple. Of course, DJ created some advantages. So if we can get deflections and get some turnovers and get some live ball turnovers, especially, and turn them into really good looks, that's something we're going to need to do here, especially for the next handful of weeks, because as we talked about, we're gonna have to figure some things out here. It's almost like game one again for us tonight, until everyone kind of comes back. What stood out was just I think the readiness. Those guys going in there. There was times, especially like Jacob, JB, and Isaiah, putting them in. You're the 4 this time, you're the 5 this time, and they both didn't bat an eye. They ran to the scorer's table and went out there and tried to do it, and that's just what you like as a coach, because there was a lot of unknown kind of going into this game in terms of what lineup was going to work best for us, and then of course you get a curveball thrown at you when Bedford gets those 3 fouls in the first half. So now we're standing there kind of trying to figure out how we're going to get to halftime and have good lineups out there that have guys doing things that they at least are a little bit comfortable with. But I thought they, even when there are times where maybe we weren't 100% sure of what was going to happen, they played really hard. And I think that was the difference in what made it turned into an advantage for us.
To kind of take him away and make him uncomfortable?
Kind of just that. It's with Todorovic, Odom, and those guys they're good basketball players, and they've done some really good things for Pepperdine in the handful of games we were able to watch. So there was no question or concern from the guys of what we needed to do and how important they were to kind of making them go offensively. And I thought the guys did a really good job on both those guys in terms of just not letting them get going, especially early. I think, even though he had 14 of their 17 at halftime, I thought there were some things there that he made some shots, of course, and he made some plays, but also a couple of them were kind of self-inflicted. And the guys recognized it quickly. But there was no shortage of emphasis put on how good of players they are, how good of offensive players they are, especially in making them go. And I thought that even though we may not have done a great job on him points-wise in the first half, we just kind of took away a little bit of their rhythm and just made shots, made them really work for the points, kind of like we talked about, just not letting them get free ones, not putting them at the foul line, and just making them really earn it.
Hey, Coach, Julian mentioned he's being more confident and more comfortable with the team so far. I guess just what has really impressed you the most about his game so far this season?
I think just that. He's about a month ago we talked, and he said he's feeling as good as he's felt in a long time, and I think that's about as important as anything for a guy like him. This summer he was still kind of getting back to full health, and there were some days he felt better than others. But over the last month or so, he said he's feeling really good, as good as he's felt in a long time. And I think he's got that swagger and that confidence that this team needs. because he every time he touches it, he's looking for an opportunity to shoot it, and every time he shoots it, he thinks he's going in. And when you got a guy that can spread the floor out like that, it just makes life easier for everyone else. So we're going to keep challenging him and to take and make big shots, which he's done so far in the 4 games we've had, and we just really need him to continue to do so. And guys are trying to find him, they're looking for him, and he's had a really good start to the year so far.
When you're trying to get the guys defensively to be less reactive, as you said, are there coaching tweaks schematically that go into that, or is that just the guys digging in tonight and making those deflections and those turnovers happen?
I think it just comes down to reps. The more you can play with a guy in practice and in games, the more comfortable you guys get. There's just a better cohesion there and a better understanding of what each other are going to do. And I thought tonight, though, they certainly went in with the right intent. I thought we guarded a lot of their stuff pretty well for the majority of the game, and a lot of that was just the readiness. As soon as the ball crossed half court, and I think, but it kind of goes back to I think the guys were in a good way excited. And because when we had lineups that they looked around and we hadn't had a lot of reps at, I thought they kind of went back to the fundamentals of it, of being in the right spots, being ready to move, and like you just mentioned, not being very reactive, being anticipating and being proactive so that we don't get in a tough spot and then we end up just chasing. So really proud of the guys for that, especially in the first 20 minutes.
That was about as aggressive from Hicks as we've seen him offensively. What do you think the biggest thing with him is? Is it to see a couple shots go in early, or does it all come off his defense?
Well, it always helps. Anytime you can see that ball go through, it helps a lot. But I think, with the added minutes tonight, I think he just kind of like on the defensive side. I think everybody just we almost went back to our like a factory or reset. And we just really kind of focused on where our starting points. We really focused on what the next part of the action is and what the next decision needs to be, and kind of played off each other really well there. And but Brooklyn's ability to get the ball and go coast to coast is something that is unique. I don't think there's a lot of guys that have his speed and his ability to do that, and that's something that he brings to this team, and it showed tonight. But yeah, to see a couple go down, because he's a good shooter, and in the scrimmages he got off to a little bit of a cold start. So, but to see a couple go down and see that ball go through the hoop for a guy like him who is he's got a healthy chip on his shoulder. He's always kind of feels like he's kind of being counted out, and so when you get a guy like that who's got that get that confidence going and get that kind of healthy. Not cockiness or swag, but just that healthy swagger. Whether it's like, those are the guys that end up, having great nights and having great careers. And I think tonight is just kind of day one for him, almost in a sense of playing like he knows he can play.
You're probably going to use Pop and Bernardi a little bit more over the next couple of weeks. What do you need to see in games and in practice to get you more confidence in terms of putting him out there?
Well, I think they're both 18-year-olds, so it's something where I think, like most 18-year-olds, it's just that every single play, every single possession in practice, not just games, of just the value of each possession. And I thought they did a good job tonight of that. Of course, we'll go watch the film here, but I thought they just did a really good job of, this is what we're looking for, this is what we're trying to get offensively, this is what we're trying to take away, this is what we're trying to do defensively. And those are two guys that I think as the more reps they get, that they're just going to get better and better. And if you watch Jacob Bernardi play, you're going to see in about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, he's usually pretty tired because he plays extremely hard. And that's a great starting point. But at the same time, it's just, that we got to lean on the older guys a little bit to make sure we're communicating, because 18-year-old freshmen, so they're gonna have times where they're gonna need to lean on a senior or an older guy to help them remember or help them get going.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks, guys.
Julian, you got the start. Just your thoughts on being put in the starting lineup and what your goals were tonight.
So what was the end of the question?
And just what were you trying to do tonight?
I think that me being in the starting lineup is just coach's confidence in me growing, and I think I've kind of gotten his confidence over time. You know, I've been playing really well, and appreciate him for putting me out there. But yeah, just excited for this game. It's a personal game for me, Pepperdine. I actually thought I was going to go to Pepperdine before all this, and whatever happened, and I'm here, and I'm really happy I'm here. I found a staff that really embraces my game, and it showed tonight, man. A team that you saw what our team could do with 5, 6 guys, maybe in double digits, and yeah, man, just a fun game tonight.
Brooklyn, something that Kevin Kruger's been talking about recently is he wants more aggressive defense from this team. You guys came out, you forced 16 turnovers. What was the mindset on defense, and how do you guys sort of execute on that end?
Yeah, I mean, defense turns to offense, so we always try to focus on creating quick turnovers or getting deflections that lead to the other end. So I think it's always looking to turn defense and offense in the long game.
Anybody else questions?
Brooklyn, you didn't come into college as a shooter, but I see you out before the games working on your shot. Can you just talk about the effort that you put in, the work that you put in to develop yourself as a three-point shooter?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've always had the athleticism, so I knew the jump shot would have to come eventually to play at this level. So day in, day out, just putting in that work, and it's starting to show off.
I'll follow that up. You did come here with a reputation as a scorer, though. So where are you right now in terms of your confidence? Because you look pretty loose out there in terms of taking in, shots that look good to you inside and out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, everybody averaged 30 in high school, so just coming here, finding my role, being on an older team last year, so not as many shots were coming my way, but this year, new team, coaches, a little more confidence in me, players, teammates like playing with me, so those shots are starting to come. I'm starting to figure out where I can take them.
For both of you guys, where do you think the team is right now in achieving the goal that I think Coach Kruger wants and getting the ball to bear a lot?
I think that was a big emphasis of the last few weeks, and I think it's shown. A whole bunch of guys are getting more involved, and we are feeding them more, getting to the nail and throwing it down to him. He's a presence down low, and it is something we really got to keep going to. He's, what they say, second in percentage or something like that, and yeah, he's a beast down low. So that should be a big point moving forward, and I think we're executing it pretty well so far.
Yeah, I'll follow that up. He's shooting 90%. We got to give him the ball as much as possible. So I think it's simple as that.
Anybody else? All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.